Mass Effect Andromeda, and a lot of new information and screenshots. You waited too long. It is time to take a look at the new trailer for Mass Effect Andromeda, dedicated to the celebration of all fans of the Universe Day N7. In Mass Effect Andromeda, the player will assume the role of a trained researcher, who will together with his team to find a new home for humanity among the worlds a distant galaxy Andromeda. In addition to the trailer steel famous actors voicing the brother and sister of Ryder is Frida Wolfe, Kaira from Evolve, and Tom Taylorson, Ostodad. Both literally for the first time received such a big role. Mass Effect Andromeda will be released in the spring of 2017 on the PC, PS4 and Xbox One. In addition, it became known that in the new issue of Game Informer will have exclusive information about the game Mass Effect Andromeda. Just been published a magazine cover with the two main characters are brother and sister of Ryder. The cover too. One brother and another sister. UPD the magazine was showing a lot of new screenshots of the game. You will see many interesting things. For example, the diversity of climate on different planets, new monsters, weapons, transport. Himself gameplay video developers show promise in early December. A well-known insider Shinobi has shared details on the upcoming Mass Effect. Background: somewhere around 2185, at the height of the galactic progress, unaware of the impending Reaper invasion, several types are combined to project Andromeda Initiative. Build 4 of the Ark, for 4 races that can accommodate thousands of survivors to chart a course for Andromeda. In the cluster Helios was a considerable number of gold of the worlds, or planets ripe for life. At the head of each of the Ark is a pioneer. Pioneer, reconnaissance teams, and others, are on board in cryo, not knowing what is happening in the Milky Way after they leave it. You play as either Scott or Sarah Ryder, children Ryder Alec, Pioneer Human Ark. Alec Ryder is voiced by Clancy Brown. In the beginning of the game, events happen for which this role goes to you, inexperienced and untested, unlike the Shepard in the previous trilogy. This doesn't mean that Mass Effect is the story of Ryder. The developers want the game felt like a complete story, but at the same time gives clues to other stories that can happen. More opportunities for customization than in previous games. You can configure a father and a brother/sister, though not with a very broad range. Nexus is a leading command center, staffed by several species, which previously arrives at Andromeda, to pave the way for the Ark. Hyperion, the Ark people, arrives in the wrong place as unstable and loses contact with the other Arks and Nexus. Inspiration: much improved, Mako from Mass Effect 1, the mission on loyalty from ME2, the multiplayer of ME3. Battle: the total time for cooldown is now replaced by separate timers. Ability now HOTS for quick use, now you do not need to pause to bring the wheel and aim. Dynamic cover system, a la TLOU. Still shooter with shelters in order to make the player move more on the battlefield. The jetpack allows more variety of movement, you can make a quick dash instead of rolling. Have Jetpack have a guidance function that allows you to hit enemies seeking shelter or to explore their surroundings. Game Informer happy with the experience, they feel that fighting games are more holistic than in previous games. Everything you build turns to attack, combos, give orders to squad, etc. All the key elements remain intact, but the studio more experimentation in a wider range of abilities. The class system has disappeared. Now you have full access to the abilities of all classes, you can mix and match the skills of the engineer, soldier, or biotics. The goal is to allow players to try different approaches to combat, without restrictions from the start. You can specialize as soon as you invest enough points in the category of skills you will unlock the profile, which can give you bonuses to your style of gameplay. Herein will meet classes Assault, invest in Bofco and biotics, an Adept, biotic. Invest in several categories, and a profile of the researcher. There is a plot reason that you can reconfigure your points throughout the game so you can try several options of gameplay without making multiple characters. You can customize the helmet, armor, chest, shoulders, arms, and NOI. It is more extensive than the previous trilogy. Will return many familiar weapons, as well as new opportunities in the melee, as swords and hammers. Chetty main enemies. The developers wanted players to feel the first meeting with an alien race, unlike previous games where they were set. BioWare did not portray them as mortal enemies. They want Chetty was threatening, not ugly, and they want you to empathize them. Instead of a linear slice of the planets on which you land, you can explore these planets from the surface to the depths. Back to the storyline, additional planets, basic units, missions for loyalty. Your ground vehicle is referred to as Nomad, and the team received specific guidance from the developers of NFS, how to handle it. Nomad is not sluggish and not bulky like Mako. This is a very quick machine, still stalling and maneuvering is much better. Nomad has no weapons, but you can adjust its speed and appearance. BioWare didn't want to make mineral nodes and dozens of similar outposts scattered across the planet. Points of interest on planets include combat, puzzle, pieces of the narrative, etc. One planet, named Aladdin, marked as a possible area of habitat. However, its surface is a dangerous place, no water, very hot. At this place you can come across several ways. For example, Krogan can ask Pioneer to find the missing colony ship, or you can just land on the planet and see what's there. Planets. One of your priorities is to seek out places to dump your team that throw the main ships, which establishes for you a support for landing. These stations allow you to change your discharge, fast travel, etc. The planets can be many hazards such as acid pools, burning wreckage, weather, etc., which can kill you. Most planets have at least one main base of the enemy. The planets may be the field, the skirmishes, and the super bosses that are at first too difficult, but you can always come back later. Andromeda, another galaxy, and the Ryder can actively scan and detect things in the environment. They go back to analyze and discover new technologies for the player. Scanning and detection of such things allows us to obtain the blueprints for making weapons and armor for the player. You can create a wide array of items, not just types of ammunition and weapon mods, items, unknown before in the Milky Way, thanks to the new alien technology. Some plot threads and missions lead you through several planets. Characters. Pippi Azeri, the party members shown in the previous commercials. She left the Nexus after arrival, and is described as a cheerful girl. She's smart and liberated. Liam, it came together with the Pioneer. He is a former staff member described as just communication, resulting in careless. Storm, your ship. It was important to refer back to the Normandy, as to the favorite players. During the movement of the ship do not exist any screens downloads. The galaxy map is returned. But instead of piloting your ship on the map, you choose a planet where I will go and see flight. You are piloting the ship itself, but I feel the same bassinet movement that most deeply immerses you in the process of traveling.